going to do? Durant has 1 year on his contract. So they have now begun entertaining, should we trade Kevin Durant? And they have begun those discussions across the league. Now I'd like to shift you to the Bay. 25-24, veteran team, underachieving, difficult time trading for a star. They've been looking for a year for a star, looking for LeBron, for Paul George, for Markin, and all these things. Very aggressive owner who can't stand this. Here, I am describing to you how this began. And so now we have the Warriors and Suns discussing the possibility of bringing Kevin Durant back, okay? I am not going to sit here and even begin to project or guess as to how this may go down. Is it possible that Kevin Durant could be traded to the Warriors? Yes. Will it happen? I'm not afraid to say I don't know. This is potentially a 3, 4, 5-team transaction. It could involve like a dozen other players because that's the nature of the way NBA trades. It could involve Jimmy Butler because it is possible, guys, that the Suns can acquire Jimmy Butler, but not for Brad Beal, but for Kevin Durant. And so that after a month of trying to pair them together, they could end up in an elaborate way being traded for each other. But I got to tell you, as you can hear as I describe this, it sounds complicated. It is. So I do not want to imply that anything's going to happen. And I have no idea how you go back on this if it doesn't work, because now the world does know that the Warriors are trying to get KD back and repair him with Steph Curry. The only things I can tell you that I can say for sure is that tomorrow afternoon, Devin Booker will be on the Suns because I think that's the only guarantee, and Steph Curry will be on the Warriors. After that, I can't promise you anything.
Yeah. That's juicy, man. That's I was reading an article about this about Kevin Durant and the Warriors, but then of course the owner for the Suns is like, "No, Kevin Durant's not going anywhere, etc., etc." But, we know how those things sound, how those things go. But I think just from an entertainment perspective, also just from a basketball sense, Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, like, that's exciting to kind of get that, return to home, so to speak. I know OKC is his home, but clearly, in terms of obviously like where he played, not like his personal home, but in terms of the success that he had, his happiness, I mean, his peak basketball was obviously in Golden State. And, it is a bummer when we have a bunch of these teams, a bunch of these players unable to really make you feel like they could win a ring. I know now things are changing a little bit with Luka going to LeBron and stuff like that, but like going into this season, it doesn't feel that like, oh yeah, Steph Curry and the Warriors, they got a real chance. LeBron James and the Lakers, they got a chance. Embiid and the Sixers, Jokic and the Nuggets. Like, there's no real strong sense that a lot of these big names, Giannis, it's not to say that none of these teams can win, or that they're not, that they don't have the path to win, but there's just not that energy behind it. It's tough because I'm not 100% all about these super teams. I don't even know if a super team even exists anymore because it's just basketball at this point. We're just combining players. But I do miss those days in a lot of ways. And we kind of got a feeling of this when Luka went to LeBron, although obviously LeBron's significantly older, of that excitement. Luka and LeBron, Luka to the Lakers. There was that excitement. LeBron to the Miami Heat. LeBron is combining with Dwayne Wade and Bosh. KD to the Warriors. There was just energy. There was energy. It became can't miss TV. You had to see what would KD and Steph look like. You had to see it. Even, a less popular pairing, super team, whatever, AD to the Lakers. AD and LeBron. It was like, what's that going to look like? There was just excitement behind it all. And Kevin Durant to the Suns just doesn't do that. It just KD and Booker. It's like, okay. Now, in one way, I wish that these teams were, that basketball was a little bit more like football and everything was a little bit more evenly distributed. And you really felt like any given playoff series that one team can win. Basketball just increasingly feels less like that. So then my mind goes to what's the most entertaining. what makes me truly want to watch basketball, talk about basketball, be excited about basketball? What playoff series do I want to watch? And it's like, I don't know, Steph and KD versus Luka and LeBron, like that's pretty exciting, man. That moves the needle for me. That's pretty great. Not KD and the Suns versus, the Jazz or something. Like it just doesn't move it for me. What I don't know. It just seems more when you get some of these guys together. I mean, that's what made the Olympics so fun. The truth is that I think that the NBA just needs to have other big talent kind of come on board here. I don't think the answer is to necessarily distribute all of this talent and have KD on one team, LeBron on one team, and Steph on one team, and this or that. The reality is like, I think what really makes basketball exciting these days is building these awesome teams, but we just need more awesome teams to go against each other. That's what we, because do you really want to see Steph go up against LeBron, even in their primes? Do you really want to see Steph go up against LeBron where they both just have a team filled with like role players? They're just both filled with, Barbosas and Matthew Dellavedova. Can't say his name right now. Like, is that really what you want to see? Or do you want to see Steph and Clay and Draymond taking on LeBron, Kevin Love, Kyrie? You just want more of that action, man. I mean, we see that. That's why movies these days, once upon a time, used to have movies. It would be one A-list superstar. That's what it was about. Now it's like, let's put as many A-list stars in the movie as we possibly can. Like, and it wasn't always like that. It was a big deal that The Rock went to The Mummy because Brendan Fraser at that time was like an A-list mega superstar. And like, you pretty much had to get his approval. The Rock actually came out and said, it was really awesome that Brendan Fraser allowed me to be in that movie. Now, granted, The Rock wasn't as big of a celebrity as he is now, but he was still a big star, especially within WWE and all that. Nowadays, we got A-list celebrities, and now it's like, unless you have at least 2 or 3 A-list celebrities, you don't have a movie. Not even an indie flick. And because that's what people want to see. People want to see the best of the best, the biggest stars, all be together, and just balling. You see this in baseball. You see this in basketball. It's less so in football, but you still want to see it. You still want to see Lamar and Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley with A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts. And so, a move like this, like, again, like, because I'm trying to think of what some of the other various options for Kevin Durant, like where he could end up being. But to me, it's just like Golden State is what's exciting. Maybe OKC. I think OKC would also be a fun full circle moment, which would be pretty cool. I think it would always be cool for Kevin Durant to go back to OKC and win a ring. But it doesn't feel like that even matters anymore. That like OKC would even be like, that's our guy coming back home. Just feels like too much time passed, and it just doesn't matter. Maybe if he did it like 5 years ago, maybe if he did it after he won with Golden State, instead of going to Brooklyn, he went to OKC, and then I could see that. But it just doesn't feel like even that narrative matters as much anymore. If anything, it feels like going back to Golden State, being combined with Steph. It would be a little bit different if Clay was still there, but going back with Steph, Draymond, that would be kind of something that I think would actually genuinely benefit the NBA. I really, really do. So just from a basketball sense, I think it makes sense. And just from an entertainment perspective and like a narrative building, I think it makes sense. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Kevin Durant being on the trade block? Potentially going to the Golden State Warriors. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.